I'm the Annoying Muppet and welcome back to my history series. In this part we're talking about the Hanovers. The first monarch today is George I. George was active in directing British foreign policy during his early reign. Coming from Hanover, George I spoke almost exclusively in German. He knew some English but wasn't proficient and apparently refused to learn. This made him unpopular with most of his subjects, who considered him too foreign to be king. The second king today is George II. He is the last foreign-born British monarch. While he was the Prince of Wales, George's residence was in London. He fought with his father and his heirs. George liked elaborate wigs. The third king today is George III. He was the third Hanoverian monarch and the first one to be born in England and to use English as his first language. Among the papers was instrumental manual of kingship written by George III's father for his 10-year-old son. The fourth king today is George IV. In 1822, George IV became the first monarch to conduct a state visit to Scotland in more than 170 years. After a relatively sheltered childhood, it didn't take long until George began to rebel against his father's constructive values. By 1795, he spent Rift, Prince of Wales, owned 650,000 to creditors, roughly 78 million in 2022, even though he had been given generous allowances from both his father and the public purse. The fifth king in this video is William IV. William IV was the third son of George III and the brother of George IV. At the age of 13, William began a career in the Royal Navy. In 1789, he was made the Duke of Clarence. He retired from the Navy in 1790, despite becoming King of Hanover in 1830 after the death of his brother. William never actually visited the kingdom during his reign. The sixth monarch in this video is Queen Victoria. Victoria was only 18 years old when she was crowned monarch, faced with ruling an extensive empire of over 400 million people, including the nations of Australia, New Zealand, Canada, South Africa, and India. Her influence on the world stage is still evident today, reflected in the names of geographical sites such as Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe and the city of Victoria in British Columbia, Canada. The final king in this video is Edward VII. He attended both Oxford and Cambridge University and briefly joined the army. A liaison with an actress caused considerable scandal, and Prince Albert visited his son to reprimand him. Albert died 2 weeks later, and Victoria held her son partly responsible for his death, the death of his father. As you can see, next we're doing the House of Windsor, and that's the final part. And if you enjoyed this part, well, leave a like and subscribe. See you next time.